is a mobile security engineer with years of experience in the financial industry. He's the CEO and the founder of a Swiss software engineer company. And he's contributing to aeternity as a technical blockchain advisor and an Airgapped developer. And he will talk about the Airgapped wallet. So, Alessandro de Carli, please, round of applause.
Hello, everyone. Okay. That was quite an introduction, more stuff that I know. So we will skip probably this one. However, what I wanted to say is maybe also from how I got involved in the project, which was actually before the whole contribution campaign. I managed to get a hold of Yanni, which was easier back then than it is today. And then we started this project and helped out with the contribution campaign. And the reason why I'm saying this is that also for me, it's huge step now being here at the conference compared to what it was there, hacking something together and then sweating because the contribution was starting and then everything went well, and yeah, so it has been quite a roller coaster, and I'm very grateful to be here with you and share also the experience and this topic. Cool. So before we dive into Airgapped wallets and why it is important to quickly speak about security, let's take one step back and see what changes from a traditional financial system. In a traditional financial system, you have a central authority, which is your bank, which brings a couple of negative points, but also has this positive aspect of being trustworthy, and whenever something goes bad, you will be able to give this responsibility to the bank, and the bank can roll back on transactions and you will get your money back. Unless there is a financial crisis and then all the money's gone, but then somehow we accept that. But this is not the topic here. When we take a look at the crypto world, it's quite similar with the difference that the central authority now is technology. So you still need to trust technology, or trust something, which is technology. The big change, however, is that now the responsibility shifted from a central authority with trust to you, the people. And, you know, with great responsibility. No, it was the other way around. With great power comes great responsibility, and the problem that is there for the user is that there are quite a lot of challenges that come to the user. And these challenges are mostly related to the management of the secret, and there's not really a lot that you can do, like there are solutions out there where you can reset your private key by having an SMS authentication, but then you're basically going back to the old system where you have a central authority that is managing this for you. Now in this new decentralized system, the only thing you can do is provide people the tools so that they can take on this responsibility. And this is actually the vision and also the mission that we have with Airgapped. Now, when it comes to attack vectors, there are mainly three things that can go wrong. One is the secret generation. So if your secret gets generated from something that has not enough entropy, this is a problem. The other one is the actual management of or storage of your secret, and then also dealing with transactions. And we will not cover in this talk everything that is more protocol related. Now, secret generation. And what you do when you generate a secret is you choose a number between 1 and this very long number. And you don't choose that with your brain because your brain is biased and you would choose something wrongly, you usually ask a machine to do so. The problem with that is that for it to be secure, the source of entropy needs to be as random as possible. And now, this brings us in a very philosophical discussion when it comes to randomness, because some people say there is no such thing as randomness, like all the atoms work together and everything is deterministic, but we're not going there. So let's talk about what is almost random, and it's the behavior of lava lamp when you film it. That is a source of entropy, or also the decoy of atoms that are radioactive. Now we cannot use that, sadly, but we usually use this hardware random generator that is on your device. So in every system that has a CPU, nowadays you have this system on a chip thing where you have CPU and all kind of other hardware in one chip. You also have a secure random generator. And you can use that. It's certainly a good thing to use it because it's being used everywhere. However, it is for institutions and governments the single best thing to target, because if you know what kind of secrets are being generated, cracking secrets afterwards will be very, very easy. And it's not only me that is saying this is actually really happening. NSA putting in backdoors in the actual secret generation. And there's no way that you can find out, because if you, for instance, hash whatever is your source of entropy, the output will be completely random. So there's no way that you can actually verify this. And then the other attack vectors are the storage of your secret. Now, if you store it in a way that it is very accessible for everyone, then you have the problem that there can be theft. If you store it in a way that is not recoverable for you, and then I'm looking to you, Nikita, then that's also not very good. But those are basically the two use cases that are there. You lose your funds because you forget your secrets, or you lose your funds because someone else accesses your secrets. There was this kind of trend back in 2015 where people were saying, you know, the most secure thing is brain wallets. Because no one can inspect your brain, but actually our brains are all very biased and not a very good source of entropy. So that's not the way how you should store it, especially if you fall on your head or something, then you will forget it. Also, taking a picture and then upload it to Dropbox is also a way, but not a very secure way, because then the engineers at Dropbox have access to this. And last but not least, when you're using your device to perform transactions, always be aware that the incentives of malware stealing your secrets nowadays are huge. So it becomes more and more relevant, this kind of attack vector. So you will say, that's all nice, but I have a hardware wallet. And that's actually a very good thing to have, because it puts the bar of security so much higher, but it's more a thing that you purchase it for peace of mind. However, it's not the holy grail of secret storage, because what you can see here is that most hardware wallets have a physical connection to a hot system, and having a physical connection makes it very prone to all sorts of side channel attacks. And this is often somehow downplayed, and people are not very aware of this. But even today, all of the hardware ledgers that have physical connections are prone to attacks. And reading from a USB port the voltage that is being used does not require any administrator rights. So basically, every process on your computer can decode these secrets while the signature is happening. And there are a couple of videos, if you're interested, I can share with you. So, short advertisement, but it's not really about Airgapped per se, it's more about the way of dealing with your secrets in an Airgapped way that I want to bring to you. And Airgapped is one specific example of how you of using this system that is in use in very critical systems, like nuclear power plant are using this physical air gap between a hot system and a cold system. Airgapped is the consumer version of this. Let's say you have a vault where you store your secret. This vault is something that never touches the internet. Like, there are a couple of ways how we make sure that that promise is being held, and then there is also the wallet that communicates with the internet and performs all sort of transaction preparing. How did we solve the various attack vectors? Now, for the secret generation, Airgapped does use the secure random chip. However, on top of that, it also adds the microphone stream, the video stream, the accelerometer, and the touch. Combined, all that delivers a very good source of entropy that basically will not allow someone else to reconstruct your secret. Then for the storage, we're using the trusted execution environment that is now available on each and every mobile phone nowadays, this secure storage that you can unlock with your biometrics. For recovery, many people are not aware, but you can split your secret into multiple parties. This is not multi-signature. This is really splitting up your secret in multiple parties, so that if someone has one part of that secret, it does not mean anything. However, if you have n out of m shares, you can reconstruct your secret. So the use case is I split up my secret and give it to my family members that I trust. I hope they don't collude, and then I can recover in case I have lost my secret. And for the usage, Airgapped really has this physical air gap between the devices if you want, because there is also another use case that we will be discussing, and communicates only through QRs that contain just public data that will be published to the blockchain afterwards anyways. And then there is the Airgapped wallet that prepares the transactions, shows your portfolio, and blah, blah, blah. This is the flow, how it is if you're using two devices. So you have one offline device, one online device. You prepare on the wallet and then move it over on your vault, sign it. So you check and sign it on your vault and then move it over back to the wallet. But you can also use it on the same device. This has a couple of advantages and also disadvantages, of course. Security is brought down a little bit. However, you can use just one device. And what happens is basically that you are taking out 2 steps, and it's quite easy to perform your transactions. These are the benefits that you still have from using Airgapped on the same device. we would need to go into the details of how a mobile operating system works. However, yeah, I will spare you from that. If someone is interested, we can then discuss this later on. There is also interaction with the browser. So if you're using the wallet extension from Milan, it's supporting as well Airgapped. Also, there is another Airgapped extension itself that allows you to do everything only with the vault. So you're not using the wallet anymore. Your extension becomes the actual wallet part. And this is how it looks like. If you're now using a app, Aeternity app, it will ask you to share the wallet, and then you can perform any sort of transaction, sign the data. Then this is the vault where you have to add your biometrics, and now you will scan it back. We will see Pascal, and then he can confirm the transaction. So the cool thing about this is that you as a dApp developer don't need to deal at all with any secret storage, secret handling. Everything is basically already there, and there is also an SDK. It's compatible also with the AEX standards, and there are a couple of SDKs that you can use. Exactly, I mean, this is what I just said. There are two ways to integrate. One is that you actually prepare that QR codes and show it, and the other way is you use an extension that will generate those for you, whichever works best. And there is also a coin lip that comes in quite handy, especially if you're using also multiple chains. It's always the same design for creating transactions. And that's about it, unless there are questions.
Yeah, okay. Questions? Come on. Complain about the wallet not working, something like that. Come on.
Yes, indeed. Alessandro even referenced it. One time it didn't work for me, but for different reasons that the Airgapped team couldn't do anything about it. It was actually it's part of a bigger problem that I see, because every chain of security is only always as secure as the weakest link, of course. And so how are we going to deal with issues that we cannot influence being implemented in deeper layer stuff like the mobile operating systems, right? So the private keys or the seed is being stored in the Android, this secure secure safe store, whatever it's called. And if you, like me, you don't have any lock or whatever on your phone, and then you just remove it again because Airgapped forces you to protect your phone before you can start using it, which is really nice. But if you remove this lock again, Google does not tell you, hey, there's some stuff in this secret vault, which you as a regular user probably don't know. If you remove this this PIN password combination to unlock your phone, your secret vault would get wiped. So, and this is a thing, that the best developers cannot really change. They can tell people, but if one just doesn't get it and does something super simple like removing, the PIN protection on your phone, and your private keys get lost, then there's not that much that you can do as a developer. So should we lobby for a better, more suitable blockchain things friendly policy in other companies, or how should we tackle these issues that we cannot really influence?
I like this question. Good question.
Well, So I worked a lot with very large corporations and companies, and I experienced many times the pain of trying to change existing stuff. In the end, the only thing that you can do is really work around it somehow, and make sure that those use cases that you want to get covered, you cover, even though it is really informing upfront someone. Or I mean, the UX is not great, but of course you need to. It's the only way how you can really work and provide a solution for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
any more? Or did you want to follow up on that, Nikita? No? Okay.
Can you tell me how hard is it to get the key from the Airgapped phone? Because I mean, one of the use of the hardware wallets is that it's really hard to, even if you have physical access to the device, it's hard to extract the key. I know the iPhone, they have probably some, at least in iOS, they have some secure storages, maybe HSMs, but were you able to put your key there?
Yes, that's exactly where the key is being stored. It's in this HSM trusted execution environment. Now, if you ask me whether Airgapped is perfect, it's definitely not perfect because you always have some sort of attack vectors and they start to become more and more esoteric. But the thing is, if the incentive is big enough, people will do it. It's always you know, this cat and mouse game. Now, the cool thing is if the general, how should I say, if the general public is more attackable with a solution that is easier to attack, some malicious actor will not focus on the thing that is like super difficult to get a hold of, right? You pick whatever is the low-hanging fruit. So that's why also a ledger actually brings this barrier high enough for most people, I believe.
Yeah? Amin, you have a question?
I have a feature suggestion. I think one of the main mistakes that people can do with the Vault is that they are just not thinking about it as an offline, not connected to your computer type of device. So I think it would make sense to even integrate more warnings, measurements, all types of stuff that kind of teaches people that in the best case, they never connect that phone even to their computer anymore and just to a USB charger, and maybe on the OS side that you check that you cannot open the Vault if not airplane mode is enabled, or like very little things like these to kind of protect the Vault or protect the user to misuse the Vault. Yeah, that's my feedback.
Cool, thanks.
One more.
Hey, I really like the social recovery feature, and I just want to know if it's possible to also store in the Vault the secrets from your family members.
So,
because if I give this phrase to my brother, I really trust him, but I don't trust him to take care of a piece of paper. He will lose it for sure.
It's a good relationship.
So definitely, I mean, we can store that as well in this secure enclave from iOS or Android. It would make sense. The question there is only how to transfer it, because at the moment we have this strict policy where it says everything that is in a QR or leaves the device is not secret, is public information. If we now have a share of a secret, that is already kind of secret information. That being said, though, I see the point, and I also find it interesting to have this kind of social crypto parties where you gather together and then you make your system more resilient. So it's definitely something that we need to think about, how to integrate something like that.
Okay, thank you. Round of applause.
No.
Thank you. Thanks.